Hello everyone, today I will show you how to simulate SQL injection on MySQL console. Everyone is worried about their website being SQL injected, which means your website database data will be stolen or deleted. So let's study how SQL injection happens in MySQL client. First, we enter the test database and create a table named T. The T table has a column named ID, which contains three values, namely 1, 2, and 3. This is normal SQL, which may be used on your website. This SQL uses the group_concat function to combine the ID values that meet the where condition and display them as one value. Before injecting SQL, this value only contains the IDs that meet the where condition. This SQL is an injection attack SQL. Let's create a variable called a. The variable is like an input box on a website page. If someone enters a value in the box, the variable a will get the value. We assign 1 to the variable, and execute this SQL with the where clause ID equals 1. The result is correct. We assign 1 or 1 to variable, and execute the SQL with the where clause ID equals 1 or 1. However, we do not get the expected result, which is the result of the injection attack SQL. Let's write a prepared statement SQL code to test SQL injection. This prepared statement SQL code also fails SQL injection. So let's create a prepared statement SQL plus dynamic SQL to do the third SQL injection test. This time we tested SQL injection successfully. I created this GIF to show how the MySQL instance protects against SQL injection attacks. If you put a SQL statement and a variable into MySQL, MySQL will recognize the contents of the variable and change the contents to a safe value. In this example, the MySQL program changes 1 or 1 to 1, so it generates a safe SQL statement. But if you just give the MySQL program a SQL statement, the MySQL program will think you gave it a correct SQL statement. Let's test this function for SQL injection. Since dynamic SQL is not allowed in stored functions, functions would be safer, right? Let's test the procedure program for SQL injection. Let's test a procedure program with dynamic SQL for SQL injection. Therefore, dynamic SQL is more susceptible to SQL injection. Thank you for watching. See you next time.